Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, a.k.a. Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon won't pick up.
Are you sure about that? How come not the Pick Guardian? I don't know. Hey, this is Todd Novak. Glad you are with us, listening wherever you are in full stereo enjoyment. Unless you happen to be, I don't know, you only have one ear or something, which is sad.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
That's right, Jerry.
So anyways, more importantly, on the line is
Florian Schneider
of
Millimetric Instrument.
Yes, Millimetric Instrument. So Florian's joined us several times because he's a good guy and he's fun to talk to and he makes cool stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Very cool.
We have all had very busy guitar weeks and all sorts of things. And before we get into all that, we just want to share a little bit of something. Hit it, Tony.
Hey!
Well, jeez.
Hey, if you dig what we're doing here on the Guitar Knobs, you can show your support by becoming a patron on Patreon, of course.
That's right.
That's patreon.com. For less than the cost of a handful of guitar picks or even one of those big old shredder picks made of lucite that's about 1/8 of an inch thick.
No, you're talking like, they're like almost an inch thick now. They're crazy.
Almost an inch thick,
Yeah.
if you can believe it.
You break the string.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you
can't even.
You can't go on with the thing.
Well, anyhow, you can keep this podcast running, even if you're a shredder. And for the cost of a couple of your favorite microbrews, whatever you like, 1, 2, 5, 10, whatever, you can get one of our super cool Guitar Knob t-shirts as well.
As well as many other tiers.
Yeah, there's many, many tiers. Not the kinds you cry, but the kinds you climb.
Yeah,
that's right.
We cry tears of happiness when we see you.
Honestly, we do.
Enter a tier.
I've seen Todd do that. You can support the show at patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. And we really do appreciate you sharing in our experiences. And of course, we appreciate your continued support and your subscription.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Bravo, my man.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a
Now I
paid
got
professional.
A French bravo, too, with the proper
Ooh la la!
tongue roll. Alrighty. Let's just get on with it, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm trying to think if there was any other sort of newsy bits. We just ordered more shirts, so those will be coming at you. I think I'm going to try to do like a flash sale on Instagram, and they're also available from what we just mentioned. But more to come. And I think Jared just made some shirts too, so
Absolutely.
he's going to figure out how to get those to everybody. Maybe a flash sale for Jared too.
Maybe.
Well, we shall see. Jared, tell us what you did this week.
Well, there's a few things. Number one, you just stole it from me, the shirt thing.
All right, next.
And I want to know.
Okay, bye.
Really, the only thing I want to add to that is that Todd helped me out with that design, so I wanted to throw some credit out to Todd. He did a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But no, the really fun, cool stuff, as far as gear, I finally got to put together my full stack for my Plexi clone. And the top cab came this week, and it has pre-roll speakers in it. And the thing sounds like gold. It's just, I love this cab. I love this setup. I love everything that it brings to my ears and how it makes my ears bleed. And it's super loud. It's glorious. It's everything I thought it was going to be. I'm very happy with this new amp. And for those who don't know, probably everybody knows by now, I do make pickups for a living. So my whole line of thinking was I should have some notable good amplifiers to test my gear in so I could be taken seriously by everybody. And that was mostly the reason why I stepped up on my amp game. So really happy. Now all I have to do, because I have several other amps too that I enjoy and I like and I test stuff on. So now I have to find a way to efficiently hook them all up together so I could, switch over without pulling jacks in it out.
Switch box made,
I need
man.
a nice custom-made switch box.
No, you just take the output from the Marshall and plug it into the output of the Fender and crank them both up to 10. See which one wins.
Oh boy!
For a nice ABY, you should look for Nerd Knuckle pedals. He makes like multiple out ABY plus how much you want isolated outputs. It's really nice pedals.
So what was that pedal called again?
Nerd Knuckle. Well, the brand is Nerd Knuckle. I think I should put that on the
All right.
on the Facebook group. But it's nice pedals for switching stuff.
Yeah, and if anybody else has any suggestions, go ahead and throw it on the Facebook group. That would be great.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I had going on this week. And there's a lot more, but I'm going to save that for another week, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm pretty stoked right now. There's nothing more fun than getting new gear to mess with.
For sure. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Florian, what have you been doing this week?
Oh man, I'm really busy at the moment with the Sonor and the guitars. So this week I made some paint on some new paints test. Pink one for bass and gold, shoreline gold for an MG6 body, the double cut model. So that was fun. And I'm working on my first acoustic guitar. So I started drawing in 3D the whole thing just to try some things out. And pretty intense
Very cool.
on all of that.
First acoustic, it won't be a traditional acoustic, I'm assuming.
Well, it will be a mix of a few things.
Yeah, it'll have your spin on it, right?
Oh yeah. No, it's not gonna be like a dreadnought or any know.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's a Florian like, that's what we like.
Yeah, well, he will have that twist. I have a lot of things to learn in that area, so we'll see how that turns out.
Cool. Tony.
I just got in some really cool material this week.
Like brocade or?
Yes, something in a nice sash. I'm putting sashes on all my guards. But no, it's I've
That would actually look, wait, hold on. That would actually look kind of freaking cool. If you think about this for a second. Hang on. Think about like a Les Paul style pickguard popped out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now think about the ribbon that you would put in a lapel out to the lapel button loop out to the collar, like in military uniforms. I think that's like a European style kind of military uniform.
Okay.
But maybe French. But anyways, that would actually look kind of cool, I think. I'm just saying. No, like a metal ribbon kind of thing, not like metal, but like metal.
Like a medallion.
Metal.
Yeah.
A medallion.
Okay, go on.
Okay.
What's your story?
So
A medallion.
So anyhow, the two materials that I got, I can't get in the U.S. This stuff is from China, and I'm never crazy about buying stuff from overseas. But here's the deal: it's a lot less expensive, and I can't believe how quickly I can get something shipped from China or Singapore. It's like faster than if I ordered something in the U.S. If I order something, say from like All Parts or something like that, it takes me a week to get here.
Yeah.
When I order something from China, it takes 3 days.
That's a big deal. I mean, that's awesome. And so you have the time thing down, but how about the quality of the product? Are you satisfied?
I'm very happy. This is the two materials that I ordered it's called Tiger Eye shell, so it's kind of orange and black.
I've seen
cool.
that.
Yeah, I think you've seen that.
Yeah.
And then there's also the zebra shell, which is like black and white and silver. It's
like
same kind of thing.
Crazy small lines.
Yeah,
that
psychedelic stuff.
It's cool.
But I just ordered a boatload of it in from, well, not literally a boatload, but a bunch in. And I was just shocked at one, how little it cost, and two, how fast it got to me.
So it's like, what else to
So what would that go on? What would you put that on?
I mean, I've used them on everything from, I'm trying to think, somebody did a Strat. I've done a couple teleguards in those materials. People are just looking for something a little bit different, I guess.
Are you going to see what else they carry?
Yeah, I think I will. I mean, if it's sad, but because I do like to support American companies, and for a lot of the specialty stuff like the perloids and tortoise and things like that, any celluloid materials.
They just don't make it anymore, right?
They do.
Oh.
But there's a company that's extremely difficult to deal with up in New England.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to buy direct from them for as long as I've been in business.
Yeah.
And I can't even get a return phone call.
Well, hey, if you're listening, said company in
New England.
New England.
Begins with a D.
They're too busy.
Ends in a
eating the
Mar.
clam chowder.
Okay.
I mean, I even run into the guy at NAMM shows.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm ready to buy. And, their first reaction is, well, you've got to buy $3,000 to $5,000 worth. And I said, I will buy $3,000 to $5,000 worth right now. And it's and they just, I don't know what it is.
Interesting. Somebody give them a poke, will you? Out there.
Weird.
So I guess that's my point.
Maybe they just don't like money.
Yeah,
It's quite possible. Yeah, who does? I mean, I hate this stuff.
I don't need money. Yeah.
It's green and,
Smells kind of funny.
Everybody touches it.
So that was that's the big. I mean, there's other things that happened this week, of course, but that's one of the things that just struck me as interesting and odd.
Are there materials that you are still seeking that you haven't run across, or something that you're like? I'm sure you've seen just about everything as far as.
What about
materials
the
go.
1969 perloid back?
Well, that I can have that made. Yeah,
Well.
that's easy peasy now. But no, the one thing that is still, I don't know who makes it or if it's even made anymore. But in the late 60s, mid to late 60s and into the 70s, Fender used this really bright red tortoise material. And you cannot find it. I mean, there is a red tortoise that is like a screen printed material, and it looks horrible.
Like bowling ball kind of thing?
Well, it's like Kurt Cobain's Jaguar.
Yeah.
Or not Jaguar, his Mustang.
Right.
He had that very bright red pickguard.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It reminds me of bowling balls.
Yeah, I guess it is, because it's kind of red and white and maybe a little bit of yellow thrown in there too.
Yeah.
And you can't, there is just not a reasonable substitute. I have people asking for it all the time. And I tell them,
Because they're making Kurt Cobain guitars, right?
I guess 9 times out of 10, that's what it's for.
Yeah. Interesting.
8 times out of 10. So, but that's the one thing I like celluloid material.
Sure.
And, if I can find it, then the choices in celluloid are just like slim to none. Mm-hmm. Other than tortoise material. That's
interesting.
Well, what's going on in your world?
One at a time. Okay, so last episode, I was on the hunt for an acoustic guitar, and I got one.
Yay!
And our friend from the Great White North is going to be happy because it's an Art and Lutherie.
Oh, Canada.
Yes, and made by the Godin
made
factory.
by happy Canadians with national health.
Yes.
That's right. Thank goodness.
Okay. Anyways, and I absolutely love it. I am over the moon with it. It sounds fantastic.
Yep.
It is. I'm very happy with the build, and I'm going to put that video up of the factory so that now. I got to remember to do that. By the time you hear this, I will have done that. So there.
Nice. Now, aren't you glad you didn't get that nasty Martin?
I did. Well, the nasty Martin you're referencing is the DXAE, which is sort of like a full body Ovation back. Ovation Celebrity back. It's all plastic. The whole thing's plastic. But the neck was really cool on that. I did like the neck quite a bit. But anyways, it's great. I'm very happy with it. And the electronics are fantastic. I plugged it in straight away, and I was stunned at how true to the actual acoustic sound it was coming out of my amp. My friend loaned me a Takamine top of the line Cadillac, blinged out everything, and I don't think it sounded nearly as good as this. But that's just me. It's very subjective, of course.
It's a nice guitar.
Thank you.
Plays well, sounds good. What more can you ask for?
Exactly, and
Except
it didn't break my bank.
Guards.
It didn't break my bank.
Godin really makes nice stuff for the price.
Yeah. Well, and this is an interesting thing in the video. I was telling Tony about this. They do a pressure test. Monsieur Godin, he's doing the pressure test for the spruce top and marks it as, I think it was like 639 or something like that. And he's got all excited. He says, "Wow, this is 639 or whatever pounds of pressure. This is fantastic." And he says, "We never go below X number, or it just goes straight in the trash." Mm-hmm. So what I want to do is stick a little mirror or something inside the sound hole and see if I can see where that's marked, because they say they mark every single one of the tops. So I just kind of want to see what my number is.
Could you get something like they had in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and shrink yourself down small enough so you could climb inside?
Maybe. I should ask my friend who was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh!
Yeah, he's the little blonde kid.
No
For real.
kidding. Yeah. Brush with greatness.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was super thrilled about that, and I got it kind of like quote unquote B stock because there was a little scratch on the front. So I saved like $75. Not pissed. Got a used case for like $39. Cleaned it all up. It's fantastic.
Get the smoke smell out.
No smoke smell.
Put the obligatory black and white checkerboard tape on it.
Yes, because that's what I do with my gear. And Tony is going to do a custom double. What would you call that? Is that I keep calling it a bat wing, but
it's a double pick guard, basically.
Okay,
upper,
double
lower,
pick guard,
mirrored guard,
upper and lower mirrored guard, reminiscent of Johnny Cash's early guitar with his name in the fretboard. That's on. I think that's the one that's on display at the Hall of Fame.
Are you going to get Novak put in the fretboard?
That would be sweet. No. So anyways, yeah. So there's that. So that's it. So that was a quick week for everybody. There's so much other stuff, and I want to keep talking about all the stuff we're doing, but we got to save things for the next episode, I suppose. Okay. So we're going to get through our main topic, and then we have towards the end our Would You Rather. And if you haven't been on the Facebook group lately, you need to, because we have been we're retroactively putting our Would You Rather polls on the Facebook group.
Would you rather?
But we're not doing that right now. So put that back in the hat, mister.
Save it. Save it.
Okay. Our main topic is grab bag this week.
Yay!
And by grab bag, Tony's actually grabbing a bag.
That's right. It's a Marshall bag.
It is a Marshall bag. And so
it's cool.
This topic is essentially, we're just bringing 4 quick things that we wanted to kind of throw past each other. So we're going to have 4 quick topics and see what happens. All right?
Let's do it.
Is that okay with everybody? Total random shout out, by the way. Freaking Mark Maron. Damn, I love that show.
Yeah. Huh? WTF.
Gosh dang it. I love that show.
Yeah.
And he's a great guitar player, too. I love listening to his guitar.
I love his Gallagher episode.
I did send him a shirt and a note just for, hey, thanks for a great show. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. If you guys haven't listened to it, give it a listen.
I guess I'm going to have to listen to it.
Get the premium content so you can listen to all of them. He goes back years.
Yes, like 7 years. He's been doing it a long time.
A long time.
But the cool thing is he talks to mostly like creative people, artists, not painters, in the arts of different, comedians, actors, writers, musicians. It's great. Fantastic.
WTF?
Yep.
And I didn't get a penny for that. So
What does WTF stand for, Todd?
Working from home. No,
That's right.
that's some, I don't know, that's WFH. Anyways. Okay, so here we go. Grab bag. Jared,
Yeah, okay, man.
you're first, buddy.
All right. So my grab bag topic stems from me looking on social media in certain groups, and guys bring this up all the time. So I thought it's a great topic. There's a lot of black and white opinions about it. You either love it or you hate it. But it's hardware. Do you like relic hardware, nickel hardware, chrome hardware, and then there's gold hardware, and then the fact that the gold on your hardware really doesn't last that long.
Well,
especially if you're wiping
hold on,
it
time out. We're gonna yeah, you got to narrow that because that's
right.
like all hardware.
I just want to talk about
And
gold
there's
hardware.
black hardware.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm
for the
talking
new
about.
I'm
metal
going to go
guys.
for the gold then.
Gold hardware.
Can we start that?
Sure.
All right.
All right, let me rewind it. Don't let that pizza come shooting out of your nose, Jared. Okay, hit it.
I love pizza.
Okay.
Okay, man, my grab bag item is going to be gold hardware.
All
And
right.
this whole idea stems from social media. A lot of guys are asking others on the medias, like, hey, how can I preserve my gold hardware? And my answer is just try not to touch it.
Don't play your guitar.
Yeah, you can't.
What do you mean? Try not to touch it.
You just try not to, because if you touch it, you'll put a smudge on it. If you put a smudge on it, you'll wipe the smudge off.
Why?
If you wipe the smudge off, you'll just wear down on the gold plating, and before you know it, your gold plating's gone.
It's not actually gold plating.
Well,
it
it's
is
real gold
It's
plating?
real gold plating.
Get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yes.
for realsies.
Even on the machine heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get brass hardware.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
But brass tarnishes too. However, you can bring that back to shine,
Yeah.
and it'll always stay brass. But the gold, that goes away, and it drives some guys nuts. Me, I love how the gold plating wears off. And I love the green.
I do too.
I love the gold. I love the oxidation, the green, crumbly, crumbly looking gold look. And, I don't know why. I just love an old aged look.
Yeah.
And I like it done naturally.
Yeah.
Building pickups, people say, hey, can you do aged gold?
You mean with Oxyurin?
And I'll say, man, I just, it's a pain to age gold. It's a pain to do that. You just buy the new gold and it'll wear out. Just don't wipe it off.
Yeah, but in
oxidize.
theory, if you did want to speed that up, right? In theory, again, because I'm not a professional.
Get a rag and a metal polish. It just takes it right
I'm
off.
just saying
oven
if you
cleaner.
just rub your hand all over it, because essentially it's the oils that are your oils are breaking it down.
The oils
Right.
and the acid.
So
in,
if you
in theirs are,
if you immediately just get oils on it,
Just touch
rub
it,
your hand
smear
all
it.
over it,
Like a 2-year-old,
and
just
then
smear
let it go. And then just let it sit there, and then like in a couple weeks, wipe it off. Woo-hoo.
not even in a couple weeks.
just
In
leave
a couple
it
minutes.
there. Yeah.
No,
Scant seconds.
So
put it in the microwave.
my advice, I'm going to stand by it
Don't put it in
forever.
the microwave.
Please do
Dude,
not put it in a microwave.
If you're going to try to preserve your gold hardware, good luck to you. Just try not to touch it. That's just the best thing.
So let's say somebody just inherited I don't know.
Les Paul Custom's got gold on it.
Old Les Paul Custom, right?
Yeah.
They just inherited it. And the gold is all but gone.
Leave it.
Well, leave it like that.
I would.
All right.
I think it looks.
I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm just
I
asking.
love an old Flying V or Explorer that originally had old gold hardware.
You see, there's gold in the crevices where you can't touch it. It's
That's
still
true.
there.
Or
but
the screw heads on the
Right.
on the pickups. I mean, so it's always cool.
Yeah, Jared.
Yeah.
That's the whole point about relic guitars. I think if I would be to get Les Paul Custom, I would get it relic, because the new gold is like, ugh,
Yeah.
that's
true.
way too much. That's way too much.
Yeah. The
in
old
my
gold
trunk,
is
in my trunk
better.
right now is a Les Paul Custom. Now it's Go ahead, snobs. It's an Epiphone, but the thing looks money because it's actual.
It does look good.
Played, aged gold hardware. It looks awesome.
Nice.
It does look
I'm
good.
selling it tonight. So,
It looks good.
Oh yeah.
anyways, but we were just talking about it, so I thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, but I just think that, I mean, as with most things on a guitar, I think you let them age out naturally. And I mean, I know people spend a lot of money and time trying to make them look relict or aged or whatever, but most purposefully relict guitars don't look natural to me.
My stepbrother has a 1974 20th anniversary Les Paul Custom, and it was his dad's. And he moved into a smaller house or whatever, and I'm holding on to it for him. Now, I saw this when I was 16, 17 years old for the first time. It's when, my dad married his mom back in the day. And it looked brand new. The thing looked brand new. Like the gold on it was... Absolutely. The gold on it looked like it was never touched. I mean, I don't think his dad played it much at all. And now...
So it just would have been in a case the whole time.
He keeps it in the case under the bed. And he has been playing it. He has been playing it. And I played it whenever I could when I was, 17 years old. I mean, gosh, I couldn't afford something like that back in the day. But now it's finally, the gold is starting to tarnish away on it. It's great. But it's from 1974. It's like...
Florian, have you ever been asked to put gold on your guitars?
Oh yeah. And always refused.
Excellent. The gold rubbed off.
No, it's not fitting on my stuff.
With your aesthetic.
I almost always refuse to put
Chrome.
Oh yeah, chrome. That's for sure. It's not going on one of my guitars.
Yeah,
right.
It has to be satin.
So it's interesting that you said it isn't fitting of your style, because I'm gonna walk the line right now. An all black, one of your guitars, all black with gold hardware, I think would actually look really sick. Or all white, like fully all white, like painted neck white.
Let me explain why I wouldn't do it. Because I have gold on my guitars, and it's not gold, it's just brass. But on my bridge, the saddles are brass.
Yep.
The set screws for the knobs that raises now are brass. And
if you did like a Black Beauty style millimetric, that's what I'm saying. That would...
It will have less gold than a usual
custom
Les Paul hardware. It will have a small appointment of gold. I would do it like in flat black and stuff like that with a bit of a gold appointment, but not too much. It has to be. To me, like, it goes well on a Les Paul, but on my guitars it has to be tamed down a bit. I won't do like the whole bridge plate and the whole bridge saddles and tuners in gold. Would be I'm talking, but I'm doing like a shoreline gold body, which is like the whole body in, but it's not real gold. It's just faded
gold dust
gold
kind of style. Yeah, I like that. That's interesting. So all right, so gold
hardware. It looks great on a guitar, but don't expect it to be like that forever.
Right.
It's going to tarnish. Just let it tarnish, and it'll still look great.
Yeah. Well, when you replaced, when you put in your PAFs into my Sheraton 2, it is noticeable. Like the covers on them are just like brand new gold.
Right.
And that it didn't bother me because I knew that they would age. So if you do have a guitar and you are experimenting and you're getting new parts to replace, as most people do as they're, going through the stages of guitar ownership and things. Then don't worry if it's like this is more gold than the other one.
Yeah, it'll all even out eventually.
Yeah.
And it's, if you've been playing a long time, you'll learn that it just fades away. It's just the way it is. Unless you don't play it.
So play it. That's even more reason to play it.
Right.
So if you get new gold, you got to play the crap out of it and don't clean it.
Yeah. Just
and leave it outside. Put it on the roof.
You could do that.
In the microwave.
Right.
Put it in the freezer.
A giant microwave.
Put it in the shed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually not a totally bad idea, right?
Oh, that's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
How do you think the Trussard guitars are made?
Oh man, yeah.
I think he just
those are
pees
made
on
out
them,
of
doesn't he?
sheds.
Right.
Those are actually sheds.
He opens a bottle of acid and just lets it be in there.
Those are amazing.
There was some rumors about like those guitars being buried and at the beginning, not now, but
yeah. It's a very interesting approach. Anyways, cool, good topic.
Thank you,
brother man. All right,
it was fun
spinning. This is the spins. Florian.
Let's talk about finishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I saw on the Facebook group on the Gibson versus Epiphone.
Yes.
A guy said like, give me any Gibson with the nitro finish.
Okay.
Any day. And I was like, Uh-oh. I'm always like pain when I saw somebody like talking about the nitro finish. Because that's one thing I wish that could get out of the guitar business is nitro finishes.
Okay.
Really?
Why?
Oh, it's so dangerous for the health of the builder and your health. Because nitro finishes still.
You meant gas, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah. I think they're degassing for about like 10 or 15 years after they're made. So yeah, I'm always like, ah.
Is that why the vintage Gibsons like smell funny because of the nitro, and that's why you get
I'm not sure, but maybe yeah.
Also
that crazy vintage case
but
smell.
there is a reason why a lot of countries forbidden the use of nitro.
Interesting.
But nitro crazes.
What?
It crazes.
What is that?
Tony knows what I'm saying.
Crickety cracks.
Yeah, but
right.
It's called craze.
Okay.
And truth be told, the formulation of nitro finishes right now is not the same as it was in the 50s and 60s.
They add a lot of plasticizer to it.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff was a lot more volatile back during those days.
Right. So, okay, let me pause real quick on this. We still want to talk, but for anybody out there who is listening and they're going like, I always hear the word nitro, I don't know what that means, or I hear poly, I don't know what that means. Let's just do a brief breakdown of generally what the differences are between the two, and then carry on with said conversation.
Yes. Well, Florian, do you want to take that, or I can take it?
Take it. You might have better understanding.
Okay. So what is commonly referred to as nitro is actually celluloid nitrate.
Okay.
That's the main ingredient, and typically it's in the clear layer. There's Fender custom colors and things like that were always done with essentially automotive paint, and of course back then it was a lacquer based. Today's lacquers are mostly acrylic lacquers. So it's a different formulation, although the colors might be the same. And then the top coats is what, and nitro would be basically the clear coat on the top. What's nice about a nitro finish, I think, is that it can be shot really thin. And that lends itself to, I guess, more openness of the wood. A poly finish is polyurethane, and I think where poly gets a bad rap is in its earliest forms. They used to, it was literally plastic coating a guitar.
Yeah.
And
so when in its earlier form, so like years, what are we talking?
Well, I'm talking about when poly became more popular in the early 70s into the 80s, even into the 90s.
Some of it you could peel it off of the fenders.
Yeah, the like early 80s Fender
or the PRS.
Or exactly.
They're boat anchors too, man. They're heavy.
But they've gotten, I mean, many builders have gotten really good at shooting light poly finishes. And in some cases, it's, I mean, the one nice thing about poly is you can polish it so it looks like a mirror. I mean, it's like crystal clear, like glass. With the nitro finish, you still, the finish sinks. It's not a perfect finish. So, I mean, I know a lot of guys that prefer poly because they can get that nice look.
Because they care a lot about appearance.
Yeah.
So, like, especially if you're doing like a black guitar, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you're
be deeper.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to make it look more like a glass finish with poly versus nitro.
Right. But you sacrifice potential. So, for argument's sake, a guitar made now will, in 30 years, will never look like a 30-year-old guitar does now.
Might not.
Yeah.
Right? Because
I think
you're not
that's
going to get
fairly
the checking. You're not going to have the yellowing.
maybe
You
yes,
can
maybe
make
no.
it check. You can make it check with the
Temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like
But that's not like real. That's not checking in pressure areas or joint. That's just like all over checking, right?
Right.
Because I think the Jaguar that you have, the orange Jaguar, is a
mega checked.
That's a nitro finish.
that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Well, some builders also fake the checking with the
razor blade.
with the blades and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's some. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, because I think I want to say in the 70s when Fender did start using poly, they didn't use poly on the face on the headstock.
Yeah, because the poly ate through the decal.
Right. So you can look at that old guitar that's poly except for the face of the where the decal is, and you'll see that is checked, but the rest of the guitar is not checking because it's plasticized poly.
Okay.
But let's just say that, to be clear, both nitro and poly are plastic finishes on wood.
Okay.
It's just the degree. And a lot of people, the nitros claim, or why people like it a lot is because the finish can breathe maybe a little bit more.
Right.
Now, are we saying the finish breathes?
Yeah,
Or
the wood.
'Cause we're not saying the wood breathes. I mean, realistically, if it's got paint on it.
By breathing,
and
meaning moisture going in and out of the wood.
Okay, it is letting out gas, so I guess it's farting, really.
Yeah, kind of like Jared.
Okay. Nitro farts like no other finish.
That's me.
Trademark.
Well, I think you can obtain the same, almost as even maybe thinner finishes with more natural ways. But the problem is that those natural ways are more unstable and not suit to production and stuff like that. So
I believe when we had Frank Daimel on, he was talking about he's trying out different finishes. He's trying out all kinds of really unique things and different things based on environmental issues so curious as Frank, if you're listening, weigh in on this, buddy. Go to the group and tell us what you're using and why. That'd be great.
Well, and then there's people, I mean, there's some companies are even using a water-based lacquer, which to me just defies all explanation. I mean, that my head isn't wired that way to accept that a water-based lacquer will ever act the same way that a true nitro or even a poly finish at that point.
Weird.
Strange.
no, it's I think it's better to preserve the health of the workers than the needs of the guitar players.
Well, I disagree. Let them eat cake.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic,
Well, I think it's just going to get worse and worse. I mean, much like now we're dealing with some of the regulations on rosewood and sending guitars in and out of the country. I think the same thing is going to come down to.
Now it's tried to do that and got.
That's right.
That could be that could be a good thing, gentlemen. I mean, for one, we'll be safer, but for two, the old guitars that we own now will only go up in value. because
Oh, yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
make them like that anymore.
Yeah. Interesting.
So,
Well, good one, Florian.
Yeah.
Look at you bringing the big ideas. Oh, man.
thank you.
Okay. Antoine?
Well, I think speaking of Frank Daimel, this is kind of in reaction to I think was it in the Washington Post? It was an article about the state of the guitar industry.
Oh, yeah.
And much of what I read in the article I think was relatively accurate, but some of the things that I maybe took issue with were, well, let me just start by saying I think large manufacturers are in a really bad spot right now.
Oh yeah.
And I think part of it is I think they've lost touch with what made them great in the 50s and 60s, and even in, well, we'll skip over the 70s into the 90s.
Just look at Gibson.
Well, that's just it. I mean, and let's talk about Gibson. This one just really, there is a $5,700 custom shop Les Paul that has a built-in overdrive.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to put a built-in overdrive, put it in an Epiphone. Put it in your low-end Gibson guitar. Don't put it in a $5,700 Les Paul.
Well, to me,
Why is that $5,700 anyway? Go ahead, Florian.
Yeah, to me, that's not the most ridiculous thing about the price. To me, the most ridiculous thing about the price is the way it's made and how much it costs. Because they can't possibly like justify the price of a Les Paul now, because they're all made with a CNC, which I'm not like I'm not bothered by, but I'm just bothered by the price, you know. If a guitar is made by a CNC, it shouldn't be that price. It shouldn't be that price, because you can't justify a price that high for something like that. It's they can make like I don't know how much they make a day, but that's where it's ridiculous, you know.
Is that so? As a builder, now granted, your guitars are very unique.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about that sort of like, where does the price come from? Do we think that price is coming from the sticker on the headstock, or do we think it's coming from the paint or the?
Well, in this case, this is custom shop.
Yeah.
So I've been
those
both,
are hand built, right?
Well,
Custom
they're
shops.
more hand built.
Yeah.
But to give you an idea of the difference between what happens at the Gibson factory, where they have a top carver that does a dozen tops at a time,
right?
CNC controlled. At the custom shop, they actually have some of the old Kalamazoo tooling,
right,
which basically requires more hand controlling. So they'll have basically a top on one side, and on the other side is the carving thing, and it's like kind of like a pantograph kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the old equipment. So that I can forgive. Well, not really, but I guess a $5,000 Les Paul made in the custom shop, I think, is forgivable to some degree.
But it doesn't sound like you do, though.
And it's a lot of money for a guitar.
It's a lot of money.
For Gibson, yeah.
Yeah.
For one with no provenance.
Correct.
Or that aging that we were talking about, or it was, you know. I don't know.
This has the burst driver or whatever they're calling it. I mean that just blew me away that they would do something like that. So, getting back to the state of the industry. So I think the big builders and big manufacturers are having trouble because, you know, it's almost like they've diluted all that they've done over the years. I mean, I think if Gibson wanted to make money, build Les Pauls, build Flying Vs, build Explorers, build the stuff that built the company.
That's right. Simplify it too.
Yeah, I mean, I have yet to understand why Gibson in particular would try to build a sub $200 guitar or whatever they're doing. Well, that was the Epiphone. I'm sorry, but they had some sub $400 or sub $500 guitars. Put that in the Epiphone line.
Yeah.
Let them take that.
They've been
Fender's,
doing that for years.
I know. Maybe they just had a big pallet of wood that they had to go through or whatever. But Fender is guilty of the same things, and a lot of larger manufacturers are having trouble.
But I
financially.
I think Fender is doing better than Gibson.
I think that's probably a fair assessment. But But the other part of that is why I wanted to talk about it, and the article did kind of mention this or touch on it a little bit, is I think today there are probably more small builders and boutique builders than there have ever been. While there may be fewer actual guitar players out there, generationally, I mean, they're talking about, even a new Guitar Hero won't help the business end of it. I think there's...
Ernie Ball got a lot of heat for trying to do that, basically making a Guitar Hero with the St. Vincent model guitar. And it is a very polarizing conversation that I was tracking. And the idea of why are you shoving this guitar /
bow tie
hero behind it who isn't really a guitar god at all? Kind of thing. Is what is this? No, we choose who that is. You don't choose who that is for us.
Right.
And that was kind of the interesting conversation.
Gibson charges buku dollar for their artist series.
Whether she's good or not, or you like the guitar or not, is not the question. Because, I think it was a good looking guitar, but it seemed really hyped.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no opinion on it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think one point with that is linked to that article is you could link the thing where people say that millennials kill old brands and stuff like that. I think it's just because the younger buyers are not interested anymore in those kind of BS products, and they want to move on, and they want to have fresher, more close to them products.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the same with Sitar, Ganter, and all the other stuff, all the other stores. It's all the same. They're tired about how they do business. They don't want to be just like cows that are being milked.
Right.
And
good analogy.
I think that's pretty true. And but it's what's really interesting is all of the smaller builders, people like yourself, and that are doing really cool custom work, things that are outside. Thinking outside of the box, I guess.
Yeah.
Rather than,
just look at the last model that Gibson just put out. It was really not interesting. I would like to talk to a designer of Gibson and ask, why did you do that?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the answer would be, well, our investors told us to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the problem usually, because with a big company that is not that is trying to find ways to make money now, the problem is usually with their investors, because the investors have bad ideas and they think they can make a buck, they think they could, but it's not true. And putting out a guitar like they did, like the last one, is it looks like a cross between a Les Paul and a PRS, and it's really boring. When I saw it, I was like, okay, just go back to the Les Paul, and that's okay,
So the interesting thing, you're talking about millennials not wanting I'm in the marketing industry. It's I absolutely hate saying that word more than any other word in the English language.
Millennial.
How
Stop.
about Mjolnir?
Mjolnir. I like it. I like saying Mjolnir.
There it is.
So I think one of the things that drives decisions now is we want authenticity.
Yeah.
Not only do we want authenticity, we want a thumbprint.
Yeah.
We want a unique thumbprint. Most people, I'm not going to say that's any one age group, because that's why you want to buy, certain people like Jared want to buy a really old, guitar that has a certain something
that's beat.
But
used.
The minute one thing that we're this brand that we're talking about has released an inordinate amount of models of the exact same guitar, therefore almost completely negating the signature aspect of that guitar, because now it's so diluted with, well, which one is it? Well, which you can look it up on the internet. You can't even tell what model your guitar is sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at like the blue books and things like that. I mean, what started with like a 2-page tele section or strat section is now 10 pages long because there's all these different models.
So it's an interesting problem that because look, they're never going to stop making that because it is an iconic, and it's a great product. It's just, it's skewed right now because, there's questionable decisions, mostly being questioned by consumers, nobody else really. So interesting. We'd love to hear what you guys think about this as well. Please let us know.
Please weigh in.
Yeah. On any of
I am not an expert at anything.
Any of the grab bags, please share your opinion.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, Florian, you have anything else to add there, man?
No, not really. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Okay.
Mine's not controversial.
What's yours?
I want to know just preference, really, more than anything. I'm interested in having a few pedal board people on, and I like pedals and pedal boards. There are many different kinds.
Bunch of them.
But I'm just curious what your guys' preferences are as far as pedal board goes. Do you like a pedal train style where it's all metal, easily accessible? Do you like the idea of having a wood wedge, or even a wood wedge with the suitcase top? I think those are pretty cool. The flat boards that are with the aluminum sides and the handles that just lay completely flat that you just put right into a flight case kind of thing. Curious. Florian, what do you like? I mean, you could say a different one too.
I used to make pedal boards. Ha. So
why don't you any longer?
Well, I will restart doing pedal boards, but I was so busy with the guitars that I couldn't make any boards and cabs and stuff like that. But I will restart because I will go full time pretty soon.
Cool. When you were making them, obviously you were aware of other people making them.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on what you were seeing versus what you were doing?
Well, one thing that you can see in that business, if I may say, is that a lot of them are pretty much made the same. It's a slanted top and some sides and with that are jointed with the the usual I don't know how you call that in English. A fancy
dovetail joint.
Yeah, dovetail joint. Thank you.
Fancy English.
Yeah. No, the joint is fancy, not the word.
In French, you just called it a dovetail.
No. It's way more fancy than that. It's queue d'aronde.
Oh man!
Ooh, that sounds even better. I want one of them.
Are you gonna take me to dinner too? Oh man, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, that's that. I think that was the kind of because a lot of the builders in the pedalboard world went under because they were all making the same and
right.
So there is some exceptions. I don't remember any names, but some people are doing like flatboards or a mix of aluminum and wood sides and. I think there is one German that makes like crazy fancy aluminum things, which is called Hellborg. I think I'm not sure.
Hellboard.
Yeah, no Hellborg.
Oh, Hellborg.
BORG. I think Hellborg. Okay. I'm not sure. I'll try to find a link and put it on the Facebook group.
Okay.
And there is also like the temple thing.
Yeah, temple board.
There is a lot of solutions in the pedal board. But
there are. What's your preference?
Now I think I would go with a flat board because it's when you want to change and you have like space problems. It tends to be cheaper, so you can change and switch easier.
You mean like getting a bigger board or adding to it?
Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped doing pedal boards also, because I was like, okay, I will sell a pedal board to a client and it may not need that in 6 months or 10 months.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that you have advantage wise is that you can sell somebody your guitar, which is uniquely millimetric, and a cab, which would be uniquely millimetric, and a pedal board, which would be uniquely millimetric. That's really cool. That's a suite. SUITE suite and SWEET suite.
It's a sweet.
Yes.
Sweet. But one thing that I was worried about too is you have to have a pretty huge case to put your wooden pedal boards in if you're touring and stuff like that.
Well, that's where those suitcase top extensions come into play, which I think are really cool.
Yeah, if you're flying,
yeah, not so much if you're flying, but
yeah, you need the whole flight case if you fly.
or that as a carry-on. I I guess that's maybe
you're gonna get trouble with the customs.
Maybe. I mean, if
have you ever seen the guy from the modular synthesizers trying to cross the borders with?
No.
Oh, that there is some forums or pictures of that, and it's so funny. Like all the customs agents are like, "What the
s'il vous plaît
is that?"
So, Jared, what do you like?
Well, I like what I have now. And
a sea of wire.
Shocker.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a gaggle at home, but I'm improving on that. Yeah. I am improving on what I have this small Korg. No, what is it?
It's like a old 80s relic. It's a molded plastic with all the connections already in it.
Yeah. Is it Korg or is it Boss?
I think that was the
Boss.
First. Yeah, it's an old Boss one. But I think that was the first thing when I walked in. I was like, "Oh man, you got to do something with that."
It is old. What I love about it though is it's got tons of 9-volt outputs.
Now we got to help you out with that. You know what?
I do need to improve on my pedal
there's a couple. Check it out.
Sure.
I know for certain a couple of the ones that we're looking at. There are a couple pedal board builders. Shocker in Ohio. Hit us up. Help Jared out.
Help me out, man. I need a nice pedal board. Now, I don't like the raised. I mean, I'm 6'6". I don't need to, I don't need a big raised
it's not on,
board.
Like bleachers or anything.
Right. But some of them are really
they're angles,
crazy.
So
I don't like the heavy angles. I like flat I like a nice flat down on the floors because that's what I'm used to.
Okay.
Been playing that way all my life. So.
Okay.
But help me out. I need a bunch of crazy stuff. I need a new selector box or whatever. So an ABY.
I know for certain that there are a handful of guys in our vicinity that are making some custom pedal boards that are pretty cool. So we're going to look into that. But I'm not just going to limit it to whoever is near us. I just happened to say that because I was surprised as I was looking into. Okay, let's look at some pedal board guys. How many were in the general area? I was like, wow, that's a lot. Maybe not a lot, but I was just surprised that there were that many. You either get a flat one, you get an angled wood one, or you get a metal bars one. So that seems to be what the choices are these days. Which, that's fine, unless you want to make your own, and that's fine too. My thing with those is I don't want to spend more on a pedal board and all the things to make the pedal board usable than I do on the pedals. So I was just watching John Scofield. I just totally blanked out. Okay. Hang on.
Okay. Nailed it.
Okay. That was an obvious cut because something hilarious happened and we just had to get our laughs out.
Yep.
Okay. I was just watching this thing on that pedal show, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Hang on a second. I'm all now my eyeballs. My eyelids.
I got the vapors.
Are you verklempt?
All right.
You verklempt.
All right. Here we go. All right. That was an obvious cut because some hilarity happened, and we just had to get that all that out. I'm not crying. I'm trying not to laugh again. So we're just watching this.
Oh my god!
Hang on. Okay, pedalboard show.
He's
that
punch drunk.
pedalboard show. Oh, I love the show. Dan and Mick. Hi guys.
Yeah.
I don't have a horn to honk. They were building a custom board for John Schofield, and they were just using a pedal train. I think a 24-inch pedal train. Dan's putting that thing together, and that's what he does on a massive scale, is build amazing pedal boards. So he was making this little pedal board almost equally amazing, and I was just going like, wow, that's a lot that's going into that little pedal board, which is cool if you have it, but if you don't, trying to make it so it isn't super messy and you don't have issues and things aren't falling off and your power's running right and everything. It's a lot to think about. Anyways, that's probably another topic altogether. But I think it maybe a slightly bigger board, maybe a totally flat one, might be the trick. But who's to know? I'm going to explore it a little bit.
Do it.
Yes. All right. That was fun. Time for...
Would you rather?
Oh, very nice. The golden-throated Jared.
That's right.
Okay. Our Would You Rather for this week is...
Would you rather have a boutique guitar made for you, or would you rather have a major brand custom shop guitar? Which would you choose? Because there's benefits to both of them, in my opinion.
Yeah. I was
agree.
just looking at your body language, and you're actually talking like
I was talking
like
to
our
this,
audience is right in our room here. Well, that's kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Just so everybody out there knows that. Okay. Boutique, bespoke boutique guitar,
That's right.
or major label custom shop guitar.
That's right.
Tony.
I think it would really depend on what I was going for.
Right.
Okay, let's just say I needed
It can't be a Rickenbacker.
let's just say I needed a Les Paul style guitar.
Okay.
Does Rickenbacker has a custom shop?
No,
No,
that's
they
all
do
he
not.
likes, though.
I like
just
everything. I like
Okay.
everything.
All right.
But anyhow, because even boutique builders are really not allowed to use a Gibson headstock.
Sure.
Put a Gibson logo on it and that
Right.
sort of thing. Some of the so-called, tribute or copy guitars just don't look right unless they have the proper appointments.
Sure.
They put a different logo on whatever, a wrong shape headstock. To me, it always looks wrong. Now, so if I were in the market for something that was that specific and, whether it be a Gibson or a Fender or whatever, I'd probably go with the custom shop. But
Okay.
I prefer more oddball things, and I like to be able to choose.
So you just chose two things. You can't choose two.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If I would do it, I would go that way.
You get one.
Oh man,
Tony.
Boutique is
Have you not
oddball,
done
brother.
this with us before? I know that you have.
is this a new show?
It's
No,
Is this a new segment?
This is Would You Rather, so you have to pick
No,
one
but
of the
I think
other.
I was trying to explain. I was explaining my final answer in the form
Right.
of an overextended
Why you would want both of
explanation.
them.
right.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, I would probably go for the boutique builder because one, I could pick. Most boutique builders will allow you to pick pickups and other appointments and
Have more
things like
control.
that. I think you're more involved with the process. I think in
Yeah.
general.
Okay.
So I think if I were, going to spend $4,000 or $5,000, I'd probably go with a boutique builder.
Okay.
Unless I was looking for something like a actual.
Right. And for the record, at no point ever in my life will I ever be allowed to spend that much money on a guitar.
Why?
Because I've got responsibilities, man. Like I'm like a real dude.
Just sell all of your guitars and buy one.
I don't operate like that. And I know a lot of our listeners don't either. But this is just fantasy land. So
yeah, exactly.
Saying,
and in case my wife is listening in, I would never spend $4,000 to $5,000.
Man, that's crazy. That's just crazy.
All right, Florian. Yeah, I mean, I know you're a little bit biased, but
yeah, I'm biased. Yeah, because I'm a builder.
Let's say you wanted a good guitar, though.
oh man,
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Ouch. No, yeah, I'm always on the choice side, and you can choose multiple stuff with the boutique builder, and you're probably getting more for your money, I think.
I agree.
It depends on the builder, but usually you're getting more for the money than let's say you buy a $4,000 Gibson. For that price, you can have like a whole lot of nicer boutique builder made guitar, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you certainly have more range. In choices of said guitar, you can spend half that. You could spend more than that.
It depends. If you want to be original and have something that catch the eye, or something that is a classic.
Yeah.
And even then, there is a lot of really good builders that makes not copies, but really a bit too much inspired.
Yeah.
But
interesting how you worded that.
Well, you know me, eh?
Yeah. All right.
But I think the other things that you get, I mean, there's on hand-built guitars that I own, there is a certain mojo, and whether it's just in my head or whatever, but there's always seems to be something a little bit more. Maybe the wood quality is a little bit better.
Okay. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely going to pick the boutique, because, as you guys said before, you have control over the build, mostly, actually, in most cases, and you should for that kind of money. And
we're not even saying money right now. Like, honestly, it's the idea. Even if it was only
boutique
$500.
All day boutique.
Let's say a major brand guitar was $500.
Right.
It's not about the money. It's about the principle.
For me, it's about being involved, because I know exactly what I want. Okay. I know the neck that I like. I know the fretboards that I like. Everything. I know everything that I like, down to...
Which I'm going to throw out something that's very interesting about what you're just saying. Because everything that you're saying that you like can all be traced back to a major brand.
That's exactly right.
That's an interesting argument.
About a major brand that built them a lot differently.
That's just saying, practically a conundrum.
In the early 1960s.
I conundrumized you. Okay,
thank you for that.
I am going to go with a boutique as well. For me, it is not about quality of wood. It is not about who was the name of the person that was. Well, actually, it kind of is. It's actually all about that. I want to be connected with the person who made that.
Yeah.
So that to me is I'm investing in more than the instrument. It's instant provenance. It's an instant story. It inherently would have more value to me. And I think someone else who might be interested in it, should they want it down the line. Regardless of quality of build, of type of wood, of appointments being made, it's simply the idea that in this world we have few things that are authentic anymore. Truly authentic.
Mm-hmm. And it also goes for like that for the builder. A lot of my customers became friends, and I think that's something that is kind of priceless. So
Well, actually, it was exactly how many dollars are you?
Yeah, it could always go the other way too.
Just kidding.
With a bad experience, it could always go the other way too. So
and it happens.
It does.
That's why I say most
Yeah.
customers.
No, so I think
It happens.
we've all it's the boutique wins out.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. A lot of explanation on that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what
really lay out
Hey,
some.
can't wait to see the Facebook group.
Yeah,
man.
the Facebook results should be interesting to see.
Yeah. Weigh in, man.
For sure. All right. Hey, guys, we want to thank the executive producers, Tom Barazin and Martin Cliff, for their support of our podcast. If you would like to become an executive producer, head on over to patreon.com/theguitarknobs to find out how.
Do it.
And with that, can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Subscribe!
Yeah.
I got to get my last burp out.
Had to do that. Like, did you crop dust us in here?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pizza burns.
Okay.
A little bit.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.